Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how you can turn an image, for example a logo, let's just say something like this, and turn it into something like this, a solid which you can use on different kind of parts. You can crave also the image inside a body or something like that. And I guess this is one of the you can say features that it's good to know, even though you're not going to use it that often, and especially for those of you that are using it quite a lot, and that's going to be really good to know. So and it's very, very simple. And so let's just start. But before we start, there are a few things that you need to know. Is First of all, we're going to use a program called Inkscape. It's this program here. Don't worry, you have the link to this program in the description. It's free and it's brilliant and it's very easy to install and also easy to use. So don't worry. Next, it's regarding the pictures itself, the image itself. There are a few things you need to bear in mind, and if you're gonna follow them, the results will be really good. If not, they're not gonna be good. And I'm also gonna explain why. So you can see here in this image, for example, it's first of all, you have to make sure it's a really high resolution and DPI. Okay. Second, you're gonna make sure that you have only one color, preferably black and white background. Because what the Inkscape is gonna do, the command that we're gonna use is going to trace the contrast, and then it's gonna find the boundary here, and then it's gonna trace it, and it's gonna create the geometry that we need. And if you're gonna have, for example, some shades, I'm gonna show you an example in a moment, then it's gonna create different kind of boundaries, different kind of geometries, and we don't want that. And also make sure that the image is not too complex. You don't have too many features, because more features in the logo, which means more vectors, more lines, and as you know, Fusion doesn't really like complex sketches, and it's going to really affect your performance overall on your machine. So bear in mind. So what I mean, I'm going to show you now a different example of an image. It's this one, and you can see this one, for example, it's really bad. And why is that? Now, if I'm going to scroll, if I'm going to zoom in, then you're going to see here, you can see all the pixels. First, there are different colors. It's very light color, light grayish. So it's going to be very difficult for the program to trace those lines. And you can see the quality also very bad. I zoomed here 800, but let's for example put it in 500. And let's go back to the good image. And you can also see there's way too many details here that we're not gonna need, because we're gonna recreate them inside Fusion. But let's go back to the good image, and I'm gonna put the same zoom, and you can see here it's much more clear compared to this one. The contrast is much better. It's gonna be much easier for the the system, the Inkscape, to create those vectors. But even so, you're gonna see that we're gonna have like the two lines that you're gonna see, it's double lines. It's gonna be, for example, here and here. But when I'm gonna create the SVG file in the end, you're gonna see what I'm talking about also inside the Inkscape. So make sure that you have really good resolution, DPI, and for the image, and it's not really complex image with way too many details. Less details, the better. And that is going to be black and white, very black and white background. And everything is going to be just fine. So let's start. So we have our image. We're going to open Inkscape. I'm just going to go back. And usually first thing I like to do is just to go to the document properties and remove the show page border, because it really doesn't matter. We don't need it. Then we go to the file. We're going to say open. And then we go to our image, which is this one, and click open. So it's here. Oh, you can also drag and drop it, by the way, and click OK. So yeah, it's just opening a new window, so we can close this one and close without exit. Yes. And by the way, the program that I'm using here, it's Paint.net, which is also free. It's an image editing program. If you have too many details, for example, let's just say I don't want this one here in the middle, okay? So we can always go, for example, to this command here, the erase command. Make sure that you have the brush with its the appropriate size, and you can either use transparent or use, for example, white. It's gonna give you basically it's the same result. You can see here, and then you can delete the information that you don't need. And make sure you delete everything. So there are no colors at all. Things will be better if we just put, you know, white color on top of it. And then we can just save it as a new file, and that's it. And it's not going to show up in the vector in the end. So yeah, okay. So we're going back to the Inkscape, and now we need to make sure it's very important that you're selecting the image. Then we go to Path, Trace Bitmap. Now, in most cases, what you're gonna need to press the options here. You can see there are different ways you can trace the path or the bitmaps here, but I like to use this one. And I think that's what most of you probably gonna use. If you're gonna go for colors, and there's this option, for example, but in my case, I'm gonna use this one. You can just play with it. If this one doesn't work, try something else. But yeah, as I said, if you have different colors, different shades, you're gonna have a lot of fun actually with it, because it's going to create a lot of vectors, and it's gonna cause problems. So find the best one. So that's it, and you just click on OK, and you're gonna have the vector here, as you can see. Boop. And just click return, and we go to the file, go to save as. Automatically it's gonna be on the SVG, and I'm gonna call it test 2. I already made another test. It's essentially the same. So here we go. We're going back to Fusion. So we have the body that we want to create the apply, for example, this SVG file on, or this logo. Or maybe if you don't want to actually to put it on anything, and you just want to create an image, a 3D body out of this logo, it's up to you. But in this example, I'm going to show you how to apply it on a body. So we're going to start a new design, and I'm going to go to create a new sketch in here. Let me think. Yes, I'm going to create it here. Go to the circle command and 250 and drag it to the left. So I'm going to put some fillets, something like this, so it looks like a peel. It can also, you can make, for example, a bottle out of it, you know, and just, yeah, press it inside or outside. Okay, now all what is left to do is we need to, the problem is we create, you can see here where our region, it's way far away. So how can we put it inside? We go to constructions, we go to exit through cylinder, we choose here, and then we go to plan at angle, and then we choose this one here, 90 degrees. Yes, you can change whatever degrees that you want, and click OK. Now we're going to create a new sketch. Choose the plane that we just created. Gonna center it, and okay, yeah, and now we're going to the insert. We go to SVG, look for it, it's this one, and click open. It's automatically gonna open here in the middle. So we're just gonna drag it here in place. We use these handles here. This is the size or the scaling. We're gonna scale it down, move it in again, scale it even more down, and I think this is just about right, maybe a little bit less. Okay, it's fine, and it's right here in the middle where I want it. Good. So now we click on OK. Wait a few seconds. Now, if you had a really complex logo or an image, that's going to take a longer time, and you're going to immediately feel, you know, the difference. When you're going to start moving things, it's going to move very slow. So you can see how it looks like. I'm just going to turn off the body for a moment. See, these are the vectors he created. You can see, create two lines here, and again, it's because that if you're gonna look really, really deep, like I showed you actually here in this picture, you can see it's not 100%, which is why we got those extra lines. But it doesn't matter. You can choose which one you want to extrude, either this, this space here, or the other one, or both of them, to get the result that you're looking for. Now it's green, and by the way, if you don't know the different colors of the geometry colors, green basically mean fixed. So you cannot move it, you cannot basically do anything for it except delete it if you want. So you can mark it, select it, and hit the delete. Okay, or you can also use the trim T on your keyboard. You can use the trim, and you can see you can start trim details that you don't want. For example, I can start trimming those if I don't need them, some lines, and so on. Okay, I'm just gonna redo. Good. So now we have our SVG, and we have the sketch that we want. So now we can start, we can move on, stop sketch, and we can just turn off the body for a moment, so it's going to be more clear to see it. And we go to the extrude command, and now you're selecting the areas that you want to extrude. Okay, like I said before, you can select, for example, this one, and also include this one from outside. And let's just say I want this, these, and all of this, and also this one here in the middle. I don't want this here. You can also do the opposite and choose this, for example. All of this. It's gonna give us like a different effect of the image. But I'm gonna extrude all of this here. Select them again. Here, for example, I selected not the right one. I need to select in a few seconds this one, and this one. Good. I'm not gonna select these. Okay, let's turn our body back on, and now it's gonna take a little bit, resource. We're gonna see it in a moment, but we create a new body. We're not gonna do a cut. Okay, so we're going to extrude it out. See, automatically now it's using cut, new body, and it's much easier, I think, on Fusion to do. And pull it a little bit more out. Yeah, something like that. Okay, looks nice. And we hit the OK button. So we can go to the constructions here and turn this one off for a moment. And you can see here the bodies, these are all the different pieces because they're not connected to each other. So we cannot also combine them. But yeah, so what do we do now? Because we wanted to like get the round shape or other kind of shape that we're going to use it on. So I found it very easy to use the patch command and to do it over here. We go to the create, offset, and remove the chain selection. Make sure that it's a new body, and we select this one here. See, it didn't work out as I wanted. See, because now it's thinking, okay, I wanna create an offset this direction. No, but I wanna create an offset outside. So this is not good. That's the face that I want. Okay, you see now we can extrude it outside from the body, and I'm going to choose 3 millimeters, something like this. It's enough, and hit the OK. Good. So now I created this one because I need some kind of a material shape so I can cut all those bodies. So that's why I create this one. And you can see here how I'm going to use it. We're going back to our model environment, and we go to modified, split body. Now we're going to choose the bodies that we are going to split. It's not this one, so it's from here all the way down to here. And now we're going to choose the splitting tool. It's this face here that we have created, and hit OK. Now we're going to see many new pieces down below this one. Here we go. You see? Now these pieces we don't need. It's either you're going to hide them or use the remove. Don't delete. Again, remove. Okay, now we can just turn this one off, and voila. So in this point, I'm probably gonna, combine all of this together. So I can just hit this one and check everything down here. I'm gonna choose join and hit the OK. Come on, yes. Here you go. So we have now one body with all of this, and now you can check it from here. Now, so what we do now, if we want to create this impression inside the body instead of out, how do we do that? Easy. I can just go one step back in the timeline because I'm gonna mirror this body here. Go to the mirror command, choose our body, and select our mirror plane. It's this one here. Click OK. So we are going to go through the same process as before. We have the construction plane here, so we have created before. I'm going to use it again. I'm going to use it to make an offset plane. We're going to choose this one, and we're going to offset outside. Yeah, something like this. It's fine, and click OK. So the first one we can just turn off. Now we're going back to creating a new sketch and sketching on this plane. Good. So now we're going to insert, SVG, look for your file, and hit the OK. We're just gonna resize it, scale it down because it's way too big right now. Maybe just a little bit more. And good. And hit the OK. Next, when we finish, stop the sketch, as you can see here. And now we're going to extrude, and we're going to choose those areas that we want to extrude like before. this. All of this. Okay, and yeah, now we're gonna give it just a little bit push. We go to to object. We want it to here. Great. But we don't want to join. We want to create a new body out of it. And we need also to make sure that it's extend face, just to be sure. So we're gonna get the shape. And we hit the OK. Great, so far so good. And that's how I find actually to be easier to do. Now we're going to select, let's just see here. We can move forward because I don't want all the pieces from the other example. I just want this here. We're going to select all those bodies, the new one, and hit the M key on your keyboard. Now move it to the side and we start pushing it in. It's up to you how deep you want it, but let's just say I want it 3 millimeters and hit the OK. So from now on, all you gotta do is go to the combine tool. I'm sure you already know this. Select the body and select all the rest. Go to operation, cut, and we don't need to keep them, and hit the OK. And voila. You see, wasn't that difficult. It was very easy. So maybe there are other ways you can also achieve the same results, but I think it's pretty good. I like it. And there was another thing I wanted to tell you about it. It is, I want to open a new design here, and this new sketch. You probably noticed that when you inserting an SVG file, you don't really know the size. You have the option to scale the plane, but you have no idea how big it is. And this is kind of annoying. So how do we solve this issue? So what I usually what I'm gonna do is go and create a rectangle with the size that you're looking for. Okay, let's just say I want it to be 100 on 150, something like this. Yeah, we're gonna select all of it, hit the X, or right click, transform it into a construction line, because we don't really need it, but we need the measurement. Okay, so now we have a reference, so we can use to scale it after. So good, so now we can go in here, input it in, and then you can see now I know, for example, that the height, so it's going to be much easier for me, to know, okay, so the height here, it's going to be almost like 100, yeah? You can maybe give it a little bit more. No, it's too much. Or you can also change it from here. So it's almost, okay? So then you hit the OK. So now you know that this is going to be 100 millimeters, okay? The height. And you can also change the width and so on, yeah? And yeah, so this is how you can control, the scaling of this SVG file that you were importing. It's a really nice technique. Okay, so this is it for today. If you have any questions, just let me know. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you want me to create some other kind of videos, by all means, just let me know. Write it down. Be as specific as you can. Maybe send me a link to place with something that you're looking for or you're trying to create. and I will do my best to create it. Yeah, so I'm gonna see you in the next video, which is coming very soon. I'm not quite sure which of them. There are a few of them I'm working on right now. Need to make a decision which one to create first. And yeah, so I'll see you soon, and take care of yourself. Bye bye.